Arizona. It's like kind of south of Flagstaff, but I was there and I saw these riders and they do this thing called the white line. You got to see this on YouTube. They ride this edge of this cliff on this white line, and
It's like a mountain bike deal.
yeah. And if you do it, you got like balls of steel because the dudes have done it and died. Like,
Yeah, that's not. I'm not into that. Like skydiving, that's just not my thing.
No.
I feel like I've done enough adrenaline boosting, sort of like crazy, risky stuff in my lifetime that I don't need to jump out of any planes.
Well, I did this one tour where it was like you go through these Jeeps and you go down these hills, like it's like an off-roading thing, and then that's where we saw it. And I just thought, like, I don't know. I mean, I've done mountain biking, not at the level you've done it, but I've done it, just little hiking trails or whatever. Yeah. But these guys that do it, I mean, they're in sick shape. Like the balance and everything that it takes to do this.
This is normal for them too. Yeah, they're in good shape. It's funny, but some of these guys are in such good shape in like different areas. Like the guy he can ride like that, but he can't run.
Right.
You put him in the water, he would sink. Or he's an excellent swimmer, can ride a bike a little bit, but you watch this guy run, it's just retarded. You know what I mean? So it's like people are like, you never know. Like you'd be the best athlete. That's what I was saying about like a lot of these fighters. I like to see some of them do a triathlon. They would have to change their whole athleticism around, and in order to fight like that, they'd have to do twice as much. You'd have to throw twice as many punches. You would have to have way more directions than just two. The two directions that the strong guys are always coming at you with. You're gonna have to go all in every direction around that, and then of course you're gonna understand the two directions that everyone's always throwing at you because everybody's a strong guy.
Are you training?
Oh, yeah, look at that. I've seen this before.
Are you training now for like a triathlon or anything like that? Or you just
the season's over. I'm pretty disappointed about how my season went. I spent most of this race season. I did 4 races at the beginning of the season before all this McGregor shit started happening, and I had to start helping my brother. And then we had to take off to Las Vegas for the first fight, and then next fight, coming up real quick after that. So it really screwed up my whole season. I had a bike stolen. I was supposed to like maybe work with Specialized or somebody to get a new bike, maybe at cost or something. It's a $10,000 bike. So that never happened. So I was out as far as road tries. And then the Xterra Tahoe triathlon, that one my favorite race. I would have been happy with 5 to 6 races, maybe getting that one in this season. So the least races I've ever done in a season since I was 18 years old. Usually I get 8 to 12. So 4 races after the McGregor fight was over with. I've been making appearances and networking with whoever's, the right people to talk to, in and out of nightclubs, trying to do something rather than nothing, hitting the gym, putting a 5-mile run in a couple times a week, and plenty of push-ups until I woke up wrong. My neck's kind of screwing with me. But, I understand what I'm doing right now. Like right now I'm trying to fix my situation. Like if someone offered me a fight right now, it's not going to happen. I'm like, no, I'm going to work my way into the right situation.
Yeah.
And then once I'm there, then we can talk about a fight. So that's what I'm doing, something rather than nothing. I've been in Stockton for my whole adult life. I was 35 fights a year. 17 years later, all I was thinking about was weight. What am I going to eat? I just had to do all that in Stockton because you don't want to change what works. You know what I mean? And I was never really well traveled other than like going somewhere for a fight real quick. And you're concentrating on the fight, and when you're done, you want to go home.
Yeah.
So as soon as I didn't have a fight, I've been moving. I've been around. I've been here. I've been there. But my tri-season has gone to shit this season, and I'm not happy about it because usually I make improvements every. I would have liked to see how I would have done this year in some of these races, versus last year and the year before that. Because I'm always excited. That's why I do this. All right? It's all on paper. It's all on my times and everything. I make improvements on it yearly, like every year.
What's the goal, like an Ironman or something?
No, I've raced Ironman.
You did?
I've raced full distance Ironman. Yeah, that's not something that's like, you have a lot of time to prepare for and recover from. So you don't really, you don't really book too many. The one time that I did a full distance Ironman, I got suspended.
Really?
So, shit, I'm suspended. I gotta go do an Ironman now because I got time.
Okay.
So, yeah, because you're for 2 weeks after an Ironman, like especially your first one, you're gonna be like, you need to have a break. Like,
yeah.
Probably like active recovery workouts for a month. Nothing hard at all. Nothing at all hard. Like you're just totally chilling and reaping the benefits and the strength gains that you will get from doing a long distance race like that. And it's really wrapping your head around that, that understanding of like time and distance is really effective. I think like when once you, after having done it and you kind of break down what's what and just putting in that type of mileage, like, people who've done that versus people that haven't, there's a lot to it that's, it's not really explainable.
Are you eating any meat at all?
No, I do some seafood sometimes, but I'm not like the like I'm not the biggest seafood fan anymore. Like, I mean, unless it's like some really good seafood. Like if we're in like Las Vegas,
That's landlocked.
you know what? I like.
But
I
they
think
FedEx it in,
I don't
maybe.
care. They have great seafood there. They have a high-end seafood restaurant. If you go to like Hawaii, everything by the beach or where it's all seafood. So it's like I started eating seafood again, but I didn't eat it for years after that whole. People were just
Fukushima?
yeah, people were going off about it on the internet. It kind of freaked me out, and I started hearing about dead fish at the bottom of the ocean and stuff like that, and it just kind of grossed me out. But the thing is why I stopped eating seafood initially, because I always ate seafood when I went vegetarian, but I stopped because I was eating too much shrimp. I was eating too much shrimp. I was like, there's shrimp, and that's an option. I'm getting it. And so once I stopped, I was like, I never needed that fucking shrimp, and that's what was making me feel like shit eating shrimp because you get done training at 11:30 at nighttime, and now the only thing that's open is El Foros Roaster or El Forastera taco place, like that's a drive-through.
It's banging too, I bet.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I get sick of this shit. The taco trucks are better. That's another thing. I'm in New York right now, right? All the taco trucks here are Indian food. So
it's weird, right?
I feel like if a Lodi taco truck made its way out here and was just posted, it would fucking kill it. I mean, it gets freezing cold. I mean, you want some spicy hot sauce? You got lemon, jalapeno. Like, I got a veggie burrito, and you got tongue tacos and carne asada and all that stuff. People like that shit would kill it out here. I'm like, that's exactly what I would want if I was freezing my ass off. It's another thing is they don't have any. There's no Vietnamese. There's like no pho. There should be like a pho restaurant on every corner. I've seen Korean food everywhere. I've not seen any Vietnamese food, but.
Next door was this place, Oceana, which I went last night because I heard about the king crab. So I went in and I did the appetizer of it, which is like $50. It's kind of a waste of money. But they brought out this crab leg. It was huge, and they cut it open for you. And then I did the cauliflower soup with the scallops on it. It was amazing. But I kept thinking the whole time, I'm like, these fucking things live in our toilet. They live in the world's toilet. And it's like, I'll do fish, but I'll only do it like once every 2 months.
The thing is like, I feel better. I just feel better if I'm not eating seafood.
A lot of beans, a lot of green veggies.
Just try. I don't like gluten. I try my best to avoid it. I don't feel like I digest gluten very well. Maybe that's because I stopped eating it already. But I just don't think it's the best the best food for like. It's in everything. The wheat is like we don't need that much wheat, but of course the industries and the whole, that's what they're pushing, and that's what people are putting in food, and that's just the way it is.
And it's cheap. And
that's why I like Asian food, because you can get, if you go to a Japanese restaurant, the only thing that has wheat in it is the soy sauce.
True.
And you can get in a Vietnamese restaurant, usually there's no wheat.
How's your passport?
I think soy sauce there too.
Because you fought in Japan in strike force, or in
how's my what?
How's your passport?
As far as what? I mean, it's blue. It's like
no, like you have no issues, right? Like going into Canada or like when you travel. Because I was mentioning before about Amsterdam. Like you have to go. Like right now, it's $500, $400 for a round trip flight out of JFK.
Yeah, I know everyone's trying to get me to go right now. I feel like I have a lot of things I need to do in order to feel like productive, like I'm going in a certain direction, and taking a trip, which is not necessarily a vacation, because I'm sure I'd be doing some sort of work there, but. That's one thing I've never really done, is taking a vacation.
Well, you could do a seminar.
Like, I'm going here to relax. It's never happened.
You couldn't, like, I know what you mean. You don't want to, like.
I would be going there to do but I can do those here right now, and I just don't really feel like sitting on a 17-hour flight. That's the worst for me. I can't. I mean, anything more than a 3-hour flight. I'm dreading the flight home.
What was the fight in Japan? I thought I watched it not too long ago, too.
That I fought in Japan? I fought Takanori Gomi. And he was ranked number 1 pound for pound at the time at 155 pounds. I never got the credit for beating him because I tested positive for that. But then after that, I went and won the Strikeforce Championship after I did that Pride fight, or Elite XC. And then so I did, I mean, I did a lot. I mean, people.
How did they start testing, though? Wasn't it like known that they weren't testing? Like, why did that even happen?
It was, they just started it with me, and they made an example. I don't think anybody had ever tested positive in MMA before me, as far as I knew. And I submitted all sorts of tests. They were never testing them. So my first fights, I never like Robbie Lawler. I was smoking weed that day.
No way.
I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. I didn't
Right.
think there was anything like. I didn't know it was illegal. I was just like, fuck, I'm killing time walking around walking in circles, in the morning and the afternoon leading up to this fight that's going to happen at 7:00. I'm like, God, can we just kill some time? Of course you want to smoke some weed. That'll make things a lot better.
Do a lot of guys smoke and then roll? Like they'll do jujitsu, it helps them?
Sure. Before I walk into the gym, I'm going to smoke some weed. I'm like, shit, I'm going to have to wait, or we're going to have to wait until we leave to smoke. Better smoke right now. I mean, yeah, it's just so what happened with me is when I was a freshman and I was training at the Animal House gym, like back then too, you wouldn't have been able to tell anybody like that you were smoking weed and you're coming. They probably made me leave class as being prejudiced, like, So yeah, when I'd come in, I didn't want no one to know I was fucking lit, but I wasn't about to go in some hour appointment of any type or workout or anything without smoking a little weed first. So, but when I was fucking lit and I didn't want to talk to nobody, and I was like, shit, they're gonna know I'm high. So I would start working out like crazy. Like, okay, we're in a gym. What do you do here? Work out. Well, that's what I'm doing. I would get right to it and I would jam out, and I would be in a hurry to break a sweat and get into a workout so that I'm not high anymore. But I'd still be high, but just not a comfortable high. Right. Not just fucking stoned and sitting there like, oh, fuck. Like everyone's looking at me or something. Go ahead, look at me. I'm working out. So that really worked out for me.
So it was more of an anxiety thing.
Yeah, my trick was when I got in there, I'd be fucking loaded, and I was like, shit, I better work out fast. And so that's what I would do. And then they were like, damn, this kid's a machine.
But you didn't have like depression. It was just more of a social anxiety reason. You wanted to be more level and balanced.
I liked smoking some weed, like you like drinking a soda or something like that.
Right. It's just something you do.
It's like steak and potatoes. It's fucking, it's amazing.
It does. To me, though, I don't feel like weed has that like stoner, like Fast Times at Ridgemont High type of reputation anymore. Like there's high functioning people like yourself who do insane activities, like triathlons and Ironmans. And
I mean, if you lay down and smoke weed and lay down, it's going to enhance your little lay down. You're going to have that's what you're going to do. You're going to do it better. If you lay down and smoke some weed and try to go to sleep, you're probably going to sleep a lot better. If you smoke some weed and you go run, you're probably going to run a lot better. If you smoke weed because you're hungry, you're probably going to be pretty happy about smoking some weed because you don't have any food. If you are not hungry and you need to build some appetite now and you smoke some weed and you start eating some food, you're probably going to be pretty happy with the food you're eating. So there's a lot of uses for anything. I mean, like anything you can come up with, as long as you apply that understanding that, this is going to help, it's probably going to help with whatever you're dealing with.
Have you ever been in a mosh pit?
I'm not a big dancer or a big moshy type of person. I'm always standing outside the mosh pit. I'm not a big, I fucking enjoy a mosh pit. I just don't want to be in it.
Because when I had Kimbo on the show, and God rest his soul, it was one of the coolest episodes. I was showing him the Havery videos, like I was showing you on my Instagram.
Yeah.
And he's like, thank all you listeners out there for supporting this show. Everyone who is subscribed over at gasdigitalnetwork.com. I really appreciate it. I hope you all had a safe and fun and happy Thanksgiving with your families. I'm really, really, truly grateful and thankful for all your support, all you listeners out there. And if you're listening for free on iTunes or SoundCloud, just want to remind you that the best way to support this podcast is to subscribe over at gasdigitalnetwork.com. Use the code JASTA. You will get access to over 195 other episodes in my archive, plus about 20 free songs that you can download or stream in the bonus content section. Now, before we talk to Nick Diaz, and we got a lot to talk about with Nick, I want to thank Monster Energy Drink. Drink their drinks, support their artists,